What's up, guys? Welcome to the channel. We are going to check out Tyson Fury talking about how he came back from having no motivation to getting motivation. With that, we're going to get right into it.
I didn't have no motivation to do it. Zero motivation to do anything. Zero motivation to have a shave, zero to brush your teeth, even have a shower, nothing. I can't tell you in words how I felt, how down I was. When you lose control of your own mind, you're in a bad place. I just wanted to show the world that if mental health could bring somebody as big as me and as strong as me and, you know, the stereotype heavyweight champion of the world to my knees, then it could bring anybody to the knees. And I thought to myself, if I can show the world that you can come back from it and to get back in shape and get back to the top, then anybody can do it.
I feel like losing your mind is like being underwater and not knowing which way is up. The only thing that you can hold on to is hope, the hope that things will get better. Things do get better, you just got to put one foot in front of the other, even when you don't know what direction to go.
I knew something was wrong with me my whole life. Growing up as a child, I'd feel a loneliness even when I was with other people. I wasn't a confident character what you see today. I was a very shy, reserved, skinny little whippet kid. I was always told that I couldn't do stuff and I'd never do anything, I'd never achieve anything. So
isn't it interesting how the people who have had it like the hardest or the most insecure are the ones that are compensating the most? And a lot of those super successful people, it's because it's come from this place of like trying to make up for something. It's just interesting how some of the most successful people that I know have had it the hardest.
that made me worse, basically. I've experienced the highest highs and the lowest lows in life. Something I'd worked for my whole life, and when I finally achieved it, it was like, oh well, that was a load of rubbish. I wasn't expecting now to feel like this. Like I said to you before, I just felt like an emptiness, a deep gaping hole of nothing. Darkness and grey clouds. Every day was grey. And I felt like I had nothing to look forward to. I was worthless. It was just a horrible, horrible feeling that people need to understand that many, many people are in the same boat. They don't have to be very successful sports athletes to feel like this. Anybody from day to day has the same feelings. What does it all mean? What does being a world champion really mean? But what I was trying to say was, what does it all really mean when I'm not well on the inside? I was in a position of power. I had glory, fame, achievements, money, a family, all earthly assets that one could want. But it meant nothing, so they couldn't understand why would this man feel like this. The repetitive thinking, the same stuff day in, day out, and it won't go away. And the more I'm trying to think, right, I want to be positive, negative, 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 negative. And everyone who was around was getting negative too because I was putting it on them. This went on for 18 months, of me battling my own self every day, drinking, abusing my body, eating rubbish, taking drugs. Everything I stood for didn't matter anymore.
Like, this is such a common issue with people where like they didn't receive the love or direction that they deserve, so they feel like they're defective, so they try to overcompensate to become worthy. And then this is also coupled with like, because you don't need to do things to earn love, you are lovable, and you just have to learn how to love yourself at the end of the day. Because people don't understand that, they end up trying to run away from their issues by, you know, seeking out drugs or adrenaline and all these behaviors to run away when because we don't know, because there's not like, we don't live necessarily in a society where there's a lot of people giving all of us direction, and until we've seeked like the right mentorship or, you know, found the right answers for ourselves, you're kind of just like, what am I doing here, you know? And that can be a very destructive period for people.
I I'd never ever experienced anything in my whole life, even though I'd had anxiety before. This was the king daddy of all anxiety attacks. I was so sure I was gonna die, but nothing mattered, I didn't care. All I wanted was atonement for my sins. I can't tell you in words how I felt, how down I was. When you lose control of your own mind, you're in a bad place. And it's a silent killer. It's almost like carbon monoxide poison. You can't smell it, you can't taste it, you can't feel it, but you die. The way I explain mental health is you bottle up and bottle up and bottle up and then it just explodes. You can't bottle anymore. And that's when you're having your bad times. And I was drinking every day, something I'd never done in my life, to try and wash me sorrows away. But it come to a stage where I thought, oh, well, that's one way of doing it, but I'm going heavier and heavier. I was gaining 380, 390, 400 pounds, and I was very unhealthy. I didn't fit in anything I owned anymore. It wasn't me anymore. I had two bodies.
The more that you're trying to run away, and you're just making things even harder and worse, because like life, the human experience itself is like the Buddha says, it's like suffering. So it's super uncomfortable as it is, but when we try to run away and remedy it with drugs and alcohol, you end up digging yourself a lot deeper, so that when you do eventually get to rock bottom and trying to get yourself out by the bootstraps, you can, by taking it one day at a time, one step at a time, but it just, you made things a lot harder on yourself than it needed to be.
Turning point was, I went out Halloween dressed as a skeleton in a fancy dress party. I went out about 9 o'clock and I expected to stay out all night and get smashed. I had one drink. I looked around me and I thought, what am I doing? I'm back normal again now, yeah? I'm back like thinking straight. Still drinking, but I'm thinking sensible again. And I called out to my wife, I said, Paris, here. She said, what? I said, tomorrow. I said, I start to turn my life around. I said, I promise you. I said, I'm gonna do it. I'm definitely gonna do it. From that day, I got my tracksuit on in the morning and I was going to run 2 miles. I got about 200 yards and stopped. And I thought, right, I can't run. I've run all my life, I've always been a very good runner. And I got 200 yards and I was totally gone. I could feel my belly moving on them. It wasn't like a fat like jelly, it was like solid brick. It was a horrible feeling. I thought, okay, I'm going to walk the rest, and I walked. And every day I'd go out on the canal and I'd do a little run in my sweatsuit. And every day I'd get a little bit further until I was doing 4 or 5 miles again. And then I'd come back and I worked my way back, and we worked repetitively, day in, day out, day in, day out. And at that time I was still sleeping with the light on. I couldn't sleep in the dark. You need to stimulate the mind. And I think training is a perfect way to do it. Working out, exercising. Whether you can do a lot or a little, you must do something. I give myself short-term goals and long-term goals. And I plan things more now. Where if I'm just not got anything on the horizon, I tend to wander and my mind goes AWOL. But when I've got something on planned and I've got things going and I want to do this, this and this, even if it doesn't have to be big things. It can be small, tiny goals that mean something to you as a person, as an individual. I'm very, very sure that working out and having a routine in your life is the answer for mental health problems. I want you to know that every day for 2 years was very grey and dark for me. But it will come back great again. You will have sunshine days again, rose-coloured days warmed by the sun.
For me, the way that first off, you have to want better for yourself. You have to realize that, like, hey, you wake up one day and you're like, this is not what I thought my life was gonna be, and I don't accept this. That's the first step. Second thing, like he was saying, is, setting goals, short-term and long-term goals, can keep you focused. But for me, the most effective thing was keeping it very simple and just changing my habits. I just looked at what bad habits do I have and how can I turn them into good habits. And I just focused on a daily basis on just changing all my bad habits and turning them into good habits. Am I staying up too late? Am I eating unhealthy? Am I all these things, just little incremental changes. And because your actions create your future. We're where we're at right now because of all of our past actions. And we're going to be where we're going to be in the future because of all of our actions that we're making today. So it doesn't really matter. You learn from your past, but today is what matters the most. So anyways, if you guys found this video helpful and you like reactions like this, make sure to leave some comments in the comment section. Any other suggestions to videos that you want me to, or topics that you want me to react to, and make sure to like and subscribe if you haven't already. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.